Hey guys, it is Arika Misha. Thank you guys so much for clicking on today's video. Today I just wanted to, wanted to come and share something, that God wanted me to come and share, because I only share when God tell me to share. That's all I'm gonna say. I only share when God tell me to share, because, we gotta be careful about what we put on the internet. So, they don't believe me is the title of today's video. And I just wanted to come and talk about, something that I had went through in my spiritual journey, something that I had went through. So God had shared with me something. God had said something to me and shared something with me. And let me just put it this way. You know how when God shares something with you and God tells you something, and you mention it to somebody else and they be like, what? It's like they don't believe you. When God tells you something, they don't believe you, and it could be, for different reasons, that they don't believe you. But it's just something that I had been dealing with, and I was talking to God about, and God wanted me to come and share it. When God tells us something, sometimes people don't, what, especially people that are not, spiritual, you know what I mean? And I think that's where we get into it, because, if someone is living for Christ and spiritual, and you share some things with them, and they're thinking on a spiritual level, they're more to be like, oh, okay, all right, if they're spiritual, okay, yeah, I get that, if God is telling you that. But people that are not, not living for God, everybody we know don't live for Christ. I mean, let's just keep it real. We have family and friends that's not living for Christ. And anyway, so I had said something to this individual, and they were like, what? Like, no, that's not believable. You know how it is, like when you tell somebody something, they don't believe it, especially you say, hey, God told me this is what God's been sharing with me, and, I was saying to God, I was like, God, they don't believe me. And, I went to them and I mentioned it to them, God, but they don't believe me. And God was saying to me, God was like, you have to understand, everybody don't have that Christ-like mind. Everybody don't, believe like you believe. You know what I mean? And everybody ain't spiritual. And God said you went to an individual who isn't spiritual, and you're expecting for them to understand something spiritual. And you know what? Sometimes spiritual people don't understand things either. Sometimes spiritual people don't believe what you say either. And that's what God was dealing with me about. God was saying, everything, people aren't gonna get what God, when God tells you something. Everybody ain't gonna get it. Everybody ain't gonna believe it, And, it was just something that I had been going through and I was dealing with. And God was just telling me, just trust him and stay focused on him and don't worry about nothing else. God said, I told you, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. God said, I told you. God said, you believe me, and that's it. Don't worry about who else believing what God told you. Don't, because we can tell, just like when Noah built the ark, they didn't believe Noah either. They thought he was crazy. They don't believe me. And that's what God put in my spirit about Noah, building the ark. In the Bible, when Noah built the ark, and Noah said the flood was coming. He was building his ark, but they wasn't believing him. Just something I had been dealing with spiritually, And, it just kind of discouraged me. Like, wow, man, why they ain't believe me? Why they ain't, why they ain't believe me? And God just told me, everybody ain't gonna believe everything I tell you. That's just how it is. So I just wanted to come and share that today with you guys, and let you guys know, when God tells us something, trust God. Don't worry about if somebody gonna believe you, if somebody believe it's true. Don't worry about none of that. Just trust God. All right, guys, this is Arika Misha. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget to go in the description box, guys. Click on that link to my second channel. Over there, I'm doing DIYs, grocery hauls, cooking, hair, makeup, nails. I do all kinds of stuff over there, guys. It's just my life, and I'm just sharing it. So make sure you guys go over there and show me some love and support. Thanks, guys. Bye.